Hello, I am Chris Lee of Southeastern 14, and welcome to our preview of Auburn's road trip to Vanderbilt this Saturday. You can catch that one at 3 o'clock on the SEC network. Auburn is about a 12.5 point favorite as I do this on Wednesday morning, and over under 49. That makes for a predicted final of 31-18. Computers that I like, in case you're wondering how they see this game. They like Auburn even more for the most part. FPI and team rankings have Auburn as a 14-point favorite in this one. Jeff Sagarin has Auburn as a 15-point favorite. Now, the outlier is SP Plus, which has Auburn as a 7-point favorite. A lot of that has to do, I think SP Plus's ratings may be de-emphasized turnovers, a place where Vanderbilt has been pretty bad. So that might be it. But in any case, the computers like Auburn for the most part even more, except for SP Plus. When Auburn's got the ball, last week the Tigers, I don't know if they found a little bit more of an answer or if it was just playing Mississippi State, which has really struggled on defense and especially in pass coverage. Or maybe this is just what we said before the season, that you want to get Auburn earlier rather than later before Hugh Freeze starts to figure some things out. Because as we all know, Hugh Freeze is an outstanding offensive mind, did great things at Ole Miss, did some good things at Liberty too. And so last week, here's what happened with Auburn. Went more to Peyton Thorne. He had a season-best passing day. He was 20 of 26 for 230 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Most of that came in the first half when Auburn was building a substantial lead and just kind of held on from there. Robbie Ashford, who is their other quarterback, had a more limited role last week, more as a rusher. I don't think he threw a pass. And maybe more importantly, Jarquez Hunter, their star running back, had a season-best 17 carries for 144 yards. And so, Auburn is going to want to run the ball probably a little bit more. Hunter was a guy that was on some preseason All-SEC checklists, had a rocky offseason. I think that derailed the start to his year a little bit. But Auburn has run the ball about 59% of the time. It is running it at 5.1 yards, 5.3 yards per running plays. That adjusts for passing plays. Vanderbilt's defense has just been awful. It is giving up 5.6 yards per rushing play, 6.8 per passing play. Now, it does force turnovers 2.1% of the time. Auburn gives it up 2% of the time. That could be a little bit of a problem. And if this game is closer than you think, that's probably the recipe right there, is Vanderbilt forcing some turnovers or Auburn coughing it up or however you want to see it there. But look for Auburn to run the ball, and ball security will be an important thing. I'm not sure Vanderbilt will do a great job of stopping Auburn's run. And again, that is where Auburn is going to want its bread to be buttered. So it's going to be up to Vanderbilt to force Auburn into third and longs and get some stops, something it has not been very good at all year. All right, our prediction today is presented by Bet Online. That's actually where we got the odds and the over-under from. The last of the major pro sports leagues has kicked off, and Bet Online is your top spot for all your NBA action this season. With MLB postseason here, NFL and college football and the NHL in full swing, Bet Online is your number one source for wagering news, odds, trends, and predictions. Get everything NBA at your fingertips with desktop and mobile access for every sport at any time. By the way, college basketball coming up soon too, next week. You can go to Bet Online today, get in on the action. Don't forget to use promo code BELIEVE, that is BLEAV. Receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet Online, where the game starts. All right, when Vanderbilt has got the football, boy, there's a lot of uncertainty here right now. The Commodores have been okay at times, have been good at generating explosive plays. You've seen Will Shepard, London Humphreys, Jaden McGowan all generate explosive plays at different times. Here's the problem. Vanderbilt has now used 3 quarterbacks for significant periods of time. And A.J. Swan didn't even dress last week. He was their starter to begin the season. He's got an elbow contusion. I don't think we'll see much more of him, and he's listed as a third guy for Saturday. They've got Ken Seals, who had played pretty well in Vanderbilt's previous 3 games, and I thought he was going to be the starter. but they kind of threw a curveball at everybody, and they used Walter Taylor, who's a 6'7", 235-pound guy and a very raw athlete. He led them in rushing last week, although it was not very efficient. He was 4 of 12 throwing the ball, did not throw a touchdown, did throw an interception, did run for a touchdown. I think if Vanderbilt uses Ken Seals, it is shown it can be competent in the passing game when it can protect, and that has been a huge issue. But so I don't know what Vanderbilt is going to do this week. Clark Lee did not tip his hand at Tuesday's press conference, and so we'll see. Auburn has sacked quarterbacks 16 times. Vanderbilt has given up 19 sacks. So Auburn is going to be more athletic up front. I don't know if Auburn is a little more aggressive in getting to the passer this week than maybe it's been in the past. But Vanderbilt, I think, is in trouble if it cannot get back to a consistent passing game, which I think it can get with Ken Seals. But again, we don't know what Clark Lee is going to do in this one. The running game is abysmal. Vanderbilt just does not have an SEC level rushing attack. So I think that's going to be your formula if you're Vanderbilt, is to try to win through the air. Vanderbilt's averaging about 6.5 yards per passing attempt. Auburn giving up 6.4. And again, that adjusts for sacks. But turnovers have been a huge issue with Vandy. It is turning it over 2.9% of the time. Now, a lot of that came under A.J. Swan, who, again, doesn't appear to be a factor for this week. But Auburn is really good at turning the ball over, or at turning teams over, 2.7% of the time. And Auburn's strength is probably in its secondary. Keontae Scott is healthy again. They've just had a lot of guys back who are big playmakers for them. And so if you're Vanderbilt, your hesitancy may just be putting the ball up against Auburn. And these are guys that have made picks and done some things, and 10 interceptions for that Auburn defense this year. So that is your caution if you're Vanderbilt, is I think you're better attacking teams through the air, but Auburn makes you pay for mistakes, and so that is something to watch. All right, in terms of picks, I think the formula, if this game is going to be closer than we think, it again is going to be Vanderbilt not turning the ball over, and it is going to be converting third downs. Again, those have been issues for them all year. Auburn, the question I have, can Auburn make this a blowout? Did they find something in the passing game a weekend ago with Peyton Thorne? And let's not forget, Peyton Thorne 2 years ago at Michigan State threw for about 3,200 yards. So if he's got the surrounding cast, there is history of him being a really good quarterback. Everything in this one points to Auburn to me. Auburn, a team that got better a week ago. Vanderbilt, a team that I think has got just some major issues that I don't know how you fix this season. So in any case, I will take Auburn in this game. It is in Nashville. I will be there for it, actually in the press box to cover. So we will have a recap of that after the game, probably at night when we recap all SEC games every week. So be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, enable your notifications so you see that when we go live. God bless you. Have a great day. Thanks for watching Southeastern 14, presented by Bet Online.